Before you learned your first word, you already knew the language of the earth. Not English, not Spanish, not Sanskrit, not Hebrew. Vibration. Sound. The original language of the land was never a dictionary. It was a frequency, a pulse, a hum in your chest when something is true, a tightening when something is off, a calm wave rolling through your belly when you feel safe. And here's the part we forget. You don't just hear sound, you live inside it. Everything has a sound. Every room, every person, every memory, every intention. Even when nobody speaks, the air is still speaking in vibration. And your body is always translating it. That's why a single note can make you cry without telling you why. Why a drum can steady you. Why a chant can lift you. Across cultures, people didn't use sound only for art or entertainment. They used it as a bridge. To the divine, to healing, to each other. Sacred music, chanting, drumming. These weren't hobbies. They were technologies of consciousness. Modern science has a name for what ancient people already knew. Cymatics, the study of how sound shapes matter. When vibration moves through a medium like water or sand, it doesn't create chaos. It creates order. It organizes particles into intricate geometric patterns. Sound doesn't just describe reality. Sound forms it. So imagine what your words, your daily words, are doing inside you. Because words aren't neutral. Language isn't just information. It's vibration in a structured form. That's why traditions have called certain languages sacred. Not because they're magical in a cartoon way, but because their sounds are precise, resonant, and intentional. Studies and teachings around mantra chanting in languages like Sanskrit and Hebrew point to something profound. The spoken form can shift internal states, regulate emotion, and influence the body's energy systems. It isn't just meaning, it's music. But somewhere along the way, we started worshiping words instead of listening to the vibration beneath them. We began using words like fences. We used labels to divide what we felt into neat boxes: good, bad, right, wrong, mine, yours, us, them. We built identities out of syllables, and we called that truth. And the more languages we created, the more we separated ourselves, not only from each other, but from the original knowing that lived underneath language, the sound of silence. Because silence isn't nothing. Silence is not empty. Silence is alive. When you sit in silence, real silence, you start noticing what you've been drowning out. You begin to feel the current under your thoughts. You start hearing the subtle vibration of your own being. Ancient meditation traditions speak about moving from sound to silence, not as a shutdown, but as a doorway. A transition that reveals what's real when the noise stops performing. And that's where the original language returns. Not as a sentence, as a feeling, as a sound that rises naturally through the body when you stop trying to say it right. You felt it even if you've never named it. When grief comes and there's no word big enough, so something raw comes out, a gasp, a moan, a sob that doesn't care about grammar. Or when joy hits you so fast you laugh in a way that doesn't match any polite script. Or when you're overwhelmed and the only honest expression is a long exhale, pure vibration releasing through the chest. That's the voice beneath the voice. And yes, if someone did that in public, fully, without filtering, it might sound unusual to the norm. Because the norm has trained us to perform language, not express truth. But watch closely. That person isn't making weird sounds. They're relating to the vibrations as they flow through them. They're letting the body speak in the original tongue. And this is where the old story of the Tower of Babel becomes more than a myth. It becomes a mirror. A human moment where language multiplied and people stopped understanding each other, not because sound disappeared, but because ego stepped in and demanded control. The mind wanted a conclusion, a definition, an ending. It wanted certainty. Because ego fears the one thing vibration constantly reminds us of. Everything moves. Everything changes. Nothing is permanently controllable. So the mind tries to close what is open. It tries to finish what is flowing. It grabs words like handles, thinking if it can name something, it can contain it. Thinking if it can explain something, it can own it. But life is not a paragraph. It's a frequency. And the truth is, You are not controlling sound. Sound is shaping you. Every conversation, every self-talk loop, every I am you repeat. Every time you swallow what you feel and replace it with something acceptable, you're choosing a vibration. And that vibration becomes your nervous system's normal. So here's the invitation. Simple, but it changes everything. Stop chasing the perfect words long enough to feel the real frequency. Sit with a moment in silence today. 2 minutes. No phone, no music, no fixing. Just listening. And then ask yourself one question, slowly. What is this really making me feel? In my body. Not what should I think about it. Not what should I call it. What is the vibration of it moving through me right now? And if a sound wants to rise, let it. A hum, a sigh, a tone, a gentle You don't have to perform. You don't have to be normal. You just have to be honest. Because the original language of the land is still here. It never left. It's been waiting under your words this whole time.